No, let me fight him. No tricks. The group was silent for a moment from his request, especially Saren. This was not what he had in mind when he asked Amukuki to challenge Krul. It was just supposed to be a way to get him alone. You think you can definitely win this duel? That hardly seems fair if he just gets to kill him by himself. What about me? You must let us fight on our own, otherwise we are not men. If you think you can handle him, then we can do this the clean way. Is this wise? I lay faith with the greatest warrior Grimoire has ever seen. I believe you should too. I believe in you too, Amukuki. Saren looked over at the gladiator, and he stuck out his chest. It seems we must. They left for camp. Krul kept the orcs at bay so they could feast on them in the morning. Oh, okay. They were awoken by shouting. Dora! Dora! Saren hopped up and quickly found the distraught Ramus. You have any idea how early it is? Dora's missing. She's nowhere, I tell ya. By then, the entire group had formed around Ramus and began scanning the horizon as if to catch a glimpse of her. You've checked? Ya think I haven't checked everywhere? When I say she's missing, you better believe she is. Very well, dwarf, calm down. We will make sure that she is found. Could she have been kidnapped? No. Ray was hunched against the ground looking for tracks. She just walked away. If she has gone that way, she is heading for the orcs and Krul. Saren went quiet. It could not be coincidental. Yeah, she wants to go and kill him herself. We need to save her. Why? She's about to do something very stupid. Everyone followed Dora's trail, and sure enough, it led right to the orc army in the nearby distance. We will have to look for her some other time. We have a duel to fight. Saren nodded and unsheathed his sword, hoping Dora was okay for the time being. There was a greater matter at stake. They all found the spot where the two nomads had buried their weapons in the ground, as it was a mark of their dueling location. Ray offered to hide away on a nearby cliff to act as an immediate end to Krul if the duel went sour. Saren took him up on this, knowing he had an excellent shot. The orc army once again filled the plains, with a few decorated leaders standing next to Krul, who was waiting impatiently. I'm ready. He raised his shield and slammed it with his sword. Loren nodded. Satisfied, he moved to engage Krul. Saren caught him by his arm just before he left. He stopped and turned to him. If you die, I'm going to kill you. His jaw moved, but he said nothing before again breaking away to start his duel. The orcs and Loren's followers gathered around as both of the duelists stood by their weapons in the center. Krul was stoic, but Amukuki pulled his sword out of the ground with a challenging glare. Krul grunted. You act like nomad. You look like nomad. But you not nomad. There was a full-body reaction in Amukuki from the taunt, his face now contorting in bloodlust. You die. Oh! With that, Krul tore his hammers from the ground and rushed towards Amukuki. He managed to deflect the massive strike. All watched as the two demonstrated why their people were called barbarians. Even though Krul demonstrated greater strength and more brutal tactics, Amukuki somehow managed to hold his own, proving he had rightfully earned the title of Bear in Grimoire. The battle waged for what seemed like hours, but could have been no longer than a minute. He just did a little ding! That was impressive, Amukuki. Running low on stamina, Amukuki tried a maneuver he learned only recently. He used his weapon to twist Krul's hammers from their grip. It looked a little less involved than that. Saren was startled from recognizing his own move and from seeing it executed so perfectly. Cool. Points for us. It worked, and Krul's hammers flew from his monstrous hands. He was defenseless. The gladiator raised his sword to take the kill. Krul roared, causing orcs to break from their ranks to swarm Amukuki. Hey, they're cheating! Saren's gas was stuck in his throat at the sight. Then he looked up at the cliff, hoping Ray's hand was steady. Loren had her weapon drawn and charged into the fray. Review her party setup. Okay, so... yeah, I mean... let's bring in the trouble. Who can we bring? Saren, Loren, Amukuki have to be in here. Alright, so Saren has to be in there. Loren has to be in there. I mean, we haven't had Souzers. We've been doing a lot of Souser, so let's put in more of Ramses and Trouble and... This is pretty good. Yeah, this is pretty good. Maybe a little Mirth. Yeah, to help us with healing and stuff. Yeah. 1 and 3 party members? Oh, the limit is 3. I have to have only... Okay, whoops. Alright, only these 3. Okay, let's do this. Nice. Let's throw up a wall. And this extra defense for me. Nice. Chip away. Child's play. Nice. Nice. There we are. There we go. Alright, now we can just focus on that. No mercy. Let's give Loren a little bit more mana. There we go. Amukuki tried to defend himself, but there were too many. They could not kill an entire army by themselves. Crossbolts pierced the sky, striking attacking orcs. Oh. But more just sprang up in their place. You call yourself a warrior? You fight like a coward. Krul grunted loudly and the orcs retreated, but their damage had been done. Amukuki was bleeding from several wounds, but was still standing. You guys cheat. I'm a great warrior. Best warrior. Orcs know. The entire orc army started to howl, menacingly to show their loyalty. The cacophony surrounded them, sending shivers through them, even Loren. They could not fight their way out if they decided to attack. The reality of the position that they had put themselves in was suddenly too clear. But the harmonizing of the orcs was disrupted abruptly by a high-pitched yelp. Oh! Oh, snap! All of them were silent as one of the orcs in the front lines keeled over. Dora pulled her knife out of the dead orc with a look that none of them had ever seen on her before. It was dark, it was serious, and truly sad. You ain't a warrior! You ain't! Her voice trembled as she stepped out of the orc ranks, shedding what must have been an orc disguise. No more hiding. I ain't gonna hide from you no more. Dora! The dwarf woman held out her short knife and took staggering steps towards him. The orc started hissing at her, but Krul gave no orders. You are puny. So what? Dora ran... Ooh, wow, feisty. This is why I love Dora. Dora ran forwards and plunged her knife into Krul's chest. No one breathed a single breath as Krul looked down at the weapon impaled in him, and then Dora. He took the knife out of him and tossed it away without blinking an eye. Run. Leave. Oh my. Krul scooped up Dora before her legs would let her move. She screeched as he lifted her from the ground. I know you. You smell like dwarf village. He grinned, thinking about Dora's hometown. I not find you then. Unhand her, you flea-bitten lard weasel! Ramses had marched to Dora's rescue, his axe ready. There you go. There you go, Ramses. Ramses, no! Dora swiped at his face in the distraction, landing only a mild blow. But in the next second, a crossbow bolt whooshed past her and struck Krul right in the neck. He hollered and dropped Dora. Ramses rushed over and helped her up, and she immediately recovered her knife. The orcs didn't like this turn of events, and started screeching and pawing at the party, itching to kill them. Loren was not pleased either. The orcs were going to overwhelm Amukuki. But he told us to stay out of it. I I want to fight Krul, but he told us to stay out of it, right? Take the orcs hostage. Loren and Saren charged forward and overpowered the most decorated ones, but did not kill them. They each held a wriggling orc in their grip, threatening to kill them with a single and easy swipe of their blades. The howling orcs stopped screeching in fear of their leaders. We have your prized followers. Krul ripped the arrow from his flesh. He looked at his own blood in his hand and grimaced. Your arrow man made me bleed. Disband or we'll kill them. Krul didn't even look at the hostage orcs. He was looking around on the cliffside for who shot at him. I kill Arrow Man. Didn't you hear us? We'll kill your henchman. Oh, he doesn't care, honey. The surrounding orcs, clearly understanding the situation, whimpered disapproval, but Krul was not interested. You see? He doesn't care one squat about you. Dora stomped dangerously close to the orcs. The creatures looked almost confused. He just cares about his own blasted self. The orcs all looked hopefully over at Krul, as if he would prove her wrong. But he turned his back to them and started walking away, presumably to find Ray. Loren and Saren let go of the orc leaders, knowing that they now understood completely whom they had once trusted. As expected, the leader orcs did not attack. Instead, they grew violently angry at Krul, hissing and clawing in his direction. Oh! In their own language, they clicked and gabbed for the orcs to take revenge against the nomad that had once been their hero. The orcs did not need to be told twice. They charged at Krul. He did not even see them coming. They overtook him almost instantly. Krul let out a distorted roar as the wave of orcs consumed him. Wow. While they were preoccupied, Loren's group struggled to recover from everything that had just happened. Ramus consoled Dora as he watched Krul's demise. Apollomesho looked after Amukuki, requiring Saren to tend to his serious wounds. Thank you. Saren looked up from healing the gladiator, realizing that he was talking to him. For what? Amukuki hissed in pain and did not answer. Saren looked away, assuming he meant his healing. Saren wasn't sure why he would think it was something else. After Krul was dealt with, the various orc leaders... Krul's dealt with? Why is the exciting music still on? The combat music isn't supposed to be going. The combat's over. After Krul was dealt with, the various orc leaders split off into separate directions, breaking apart the army. They all scampered away, leaving only the dead strewn about in the field. A great sense of accomplishment flooded the group. Horus was now safe again. I would say we just achieved the impossible, but we have an even more impossible task ahead of us. This feat were pale in comparison. General Samael should be notified immediately. Nice. Oh my, look at all this. Look at all this, guys. Sure. Do I want Killer Instinct? Increase attack and speed at 10%. Or Poison Fangs. Hit 2 times, single target. 70% accuracy and 1% jab, and just 30% chance of poisoning for 3 turns. That's pretty awesome, actually. Yeah. Let's do that. Sauser. Sure. Although, yeah, sure. Let's give Apollomesha a few more hit points, a few more defense. Sure, a few more, that's fine. As for you, nah. There we go. 1 of each. One of each. And 1 of each. Blizzard, tornado, earthquake. We have a lot of phantom form, which is pretty awesome. I feel like blizzard, tornado, earthquake, phantom form. We can do Firestarter. got water. Fire, fire, fire. Do I want to go with here? Tranquilize, cure, cures one ailment. Clarity, increases spells. Skill points regeneration by 100% for 3 turns. Concentration, maximum spell points by 10%. I mean, that's cool too. I feel like I really want more, like variety of spells so that I can actually, have more, versatility in my strengths and weaknesses. So I'll probably, with Draco, just start taking every single element. So... Frozen Condition is pretty awesome. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Let's do that. I'm gonna do that. Okay, sure. Rage is fine. And for you... Yes. Amukuki. Battle Cry. Ray. Sure. Mirth. She maxed her heal, she maxed her Tangling Weeds, air damage, fire damage, hail. Let's do a swarm. Oh, she can't do that. Okay, we're done. Back in the city, the homes that were once burning were now being rebuilt, not only by the help of the Empire soldiers, but by the Elven Rangers as well. Together, the two sides helped fix what the demons had too easily destroyed. My men told me that the army has dispersed. I could hardly believe it. But they're gone. Not one blasted orc to be found. Don't sound too surprised, General. I said I would deal with him, and I have. I suspect the Council will recognize this. Yes, I will personally vouch for your leadership. I did not think I would say that. Believe you me. He gave the group an elusive grin. There is still much to be done around here. If you could lend a hand or 10, this town would be obliged. Loren nodded. She directed everyone to help what they could in cleaning up the town, healing the wounded, and restoring homes. Loren actually has some compassion for these people, these non-Amazons, these women and men. It was in this time that Saren came to realize Loren's charitable side. I just said that. She's evolving, everybody. Character development, anyone? It was hard to consider her a selfless person by her serious, even harsh way of speaking and acting, but watching her in action outside of battle showed him that there was a whole side to her that she tried hard to conceal. Being Amazon royalty did come with certain expectations, he supposed, but it was more than just learning to find the more favorable sides of Loren. She was actually becoming a better person. Even just in the brief time that they had spent together, he saw growth in her. That's what I just said! And even in himself, for that matter. But it was Loren who would one day be Amazon Queen and the leader of the world's greatest army. As far as Saren was concerned, she was born ready. I don't think she was born ready. I think it took time. I think that's the point. She needed time to evolve. So, credit where credit is due, but let's be honest here. She had a journey to go to get to this point. Let's go finish up with our last, I think this is our last side quest, our last companion quest. Review your party setup for proceeding. We just have Ray. Alright, let's do this, Ray. Saren approached Ray and informed him that he was ready to leave. They were on their way to Grand Tree before Saren could ask any questions. When they arrived in the city, Saren was surprised to see a festival was taking place. Acrobats, dancers, and musicians filled the forest, along with gawking spectators and opportunistic vendors. Perfect. What's going on? Annually, we give thanks to the forest. Not that you'd care. I do. I am sure. The merriment is perfect for us. We should be able to get anywhere here without much suspicion. About that, not here. Ray cut away suddenly and Saren followed him. They weaved through the crowds and wound up at a public house. They moved towards the stairwell, but Ray stopped. Elf guards were blocking the way up. Okay, your time to shine. Excuse me? Ray pushed Saren towards the guards and now had their full attention. I hate elves. What's upstairs? No, what's upstairs? None of your business. Move along. I was only asking because I heard there was an assassin near here. An assassin? That's bad news. Yes, I heard he was about this high, blonde hair, and had a very obnoxious personality. If you had anyone important around, you'd probably want to be careful. Our charge isn't here right now. I wonder if we should go find him. Saren could see Ray slink up the stairs without being noticed. Now all he needed was a loud clatter in the room behind Saren caught everyone's attention. Not wasting the moment, Saren dashed up the stairs as well. That was fortunate timing. You're welcome. Ray signaled Saren to lower his voice. He leaned forwards to peer around the corner. He straightened and walked around the corner without reserve. Oh, here's the nymphs. Saren followed, expecting to see an empty room, but several nymphs were lounging around, lazily flapping their wings. They perked up at the sight of them. Ladies? The nymphs were agitatives and started to furiously flap their wings. We shouldn't be here, which is exactly why we should be. The nymphs hovered off the floor with violent glares. Nice flying, girl people. Good nymphs. It's okay. No need to murder us at all. Shame. They're so pretty. Oh my. Nymphs are magical, so let's throw up a ward just in case. I have a feeling they're more magical than physical. And why am I not in the back? Okay. Let's get... Okay. Take that girl out. Yeah, take that girl out, and... Ow. Ow! There we go. Let's throw up another ward. Oh, those heals are gonna get really annoying really fast. Okay.
Watch it. Did we just fight a battle?
Did we fight a battle? I didn't notice. The nymphs squealed and flew out of the windows. They barely had time to recover before they heard the sound of people coming up the steps. Distract him for me. What? But Ray was gone. He had disappeared somewhere in the room. A dignified elf and two guards swung around the corner and stopped upon seeing Saren. You! How did you get up here? Who are you? I think it is you who should explain who he is. Let me guess, you're an assassin sent by one of my rivals. The fancy elf laughed to himself. What lengths some will go to see that I never make it to the Elder Circle. Your failed return should be all the message they need. The guards prepared to attack Saren. Ray dropped from the ceiling and both guards were knocked face first into the floor. That's actually pretty cool. The assassin's crossbow clicked beside the politician's head. You guessed wrong. The politician glowered and slowly turned to meet the deadly end of Ray's weapon. Now it truly makes sense. I was meant to see your face before I died. Much more cruel. Ray was confused for a moment, which prevented him from firing his bolt. Are they related? My face? You're the young Copperleaf child, aren't you? I must say it isn't working. I feel nothing and regret nothing. Would you mind making some sense, or were those your poetic last words? You don't even know, I bet you that's his dad, or something along those lines. The politician laughed and the confusion angered Ray. What don't I know? I knew your parents. Oh, he knew their parents. The same fool who sent you here to me knew them too. The elf laughed deliriously and Ray kicked him to the floor. Did she really not expect that I might tell you? Did she plan that I would die before I got a chance? Ray glared at the cackling elf on the floor. His crossbow was starting to tremble. Dark elves. No. You? Ray's voice was low and harsh. And her. They were in our way. Ray's bolt flew from his crossbow and the laughter ceased. He didn't move for a long while. His eyes still burned into the dead elf. Ray, it's over now. No, it's not over yet. Ray ran forward and leaped out of the room through the window. Saren ran to the window and watched him hit the ground running. Oh, what are you doing now, Ray? Saren scrambled to make it out of the building fast enough to keep sight of where he was going. He watched Ray make his way across the town into a large tree manor. By the time Ray found an open window, Saren had managed to catch up with him. But Ray did not stop, and he immediately scaled the side of the treehouse and dove into the open window. Saren followed, though with much less ease or grace. When Saren did clamber inside, he saw Ray panting in the center of the room, staring at an old woman sipping some tea. It's done? Ray was silent. He was still breathing very heavily and his eyes were still burning. Then he told you. You said it was the Dark Elves. The old elf placed down her tea. Of course, I couldn't tell you it was me. Ray readied his crossbow. Haven't you killed enough for today? Listen to your friend. Killing me will not bring back your parents. It will avenge them. Revenge holds no reward. Everything about it is hollow. Well, I don't disagree with her. There's nothing you can say that won't end with you upon my arrows. The elder rose and held a look with Ray. She then walked towards a cabinet and pulled out a drawer. She pulled out an ornate box and brought it back to the table. Ray kept his aim on her the whole time. I kept this from you since I would have to explain how it came in my possession. But now that you know, I need you to take it. Cleanse me of this guilt. I care nothing for your guilt. I want what you cannot give me. My family, my life. I spent all this time thinking the Dark Elves were my enemy. And you grew into becoming one of the greatest assassins that Grand Tree has ever seen. I'm sorry for what had to happen. But if I have to choose, I would rather stay where I am. The old elf called for her pets and they slithered into the room. Oh, here we go. Slither, slither, slither. Let's swap places. Ray's gonna have to... Oh my, poison. I don't know if we're gonna need some wards, but I'm gonna do it just in case. There we go. Gotta cut through. Gotta cut through again. Nice. Okay. Heals. Boo. Boo. Super annoying. Until we can focus fire on things. There we go. Am I like immune to... Do I have something that makes me immune to poison? That must be why I'm not being poisoned. Which is... I'm not complaining at all. Trust me. Fortunately, she doesn't have enough magic to heal. Too bad. Yeah, that's not gonna help you. You're just slowing down the inevitable.
More of a challenge.
There we go. Ray almost could not stand after the fight was over. His training was failing after learning such devastating news. We need to go now before we are caught. Eventually Ray stood and recomposed himself. He looked over at the box on the table. He approached the box and opened it. Inside was a crossbow, embellished with a copperleaf insignia. Ray reached out and lifted it gently out. Did that belong to your parents? It seems one thing about my past has not been a lie. My father was also a marksman. Then it is in your blood. Ray zoned out once more, but then he took out of it and he had it headed for the windows.